So this morning I had a rough time getting out of bed, so I just decided to come to the beach with Sebastian and take him for a walk. And this is my little dog. But yeah, a couple of days ago I was talking about how I had to move back home at 28. Which is embarrassing. But I lost my condo. My car was stolen by a drug dealer. Once again, my car had run out of gas, and I ran into some rando, and it was like, I think like 1 a.m. or something like that. And I never wanted to be alone. That's how I was always inviting these strange people into my home. So I invited him back to my place, and we hung out for a little bit. And I remember he kept showing me all his tattoos. He had like Betty Boop tattoos all over him. It was really weird. And he stayed there for a little while, and then he asked me if he could massage my feet, and I said no. And then he's like, oh, okay, well, I gotta go. And then, like, as stupid as I was like, okay, see you later. And then he's like, hey, do you want me to get some gas and put some gas in your car? And I was like, oh, sure. So I just gave him my keys, and of course, like, he never came back with my car. He just stole my car. But yeah, so when I moved back home with my parents, I had no car. I had a friend of mine who helped me do my taxes because I had owned a place. I actually did get some money back in tax returns. So I used that money to buy a new car, and I got a new job working in an art gallery in a neighboring town by my parents. And that was when the depression really set in, and like recovering from what I had been through. And like I said before, I would drive down this windy road, and I would want to like drive off of it every single day like I planned to. I just never had the guts. And one day I was driving home from work, and I was just driving recklessly. I wasn't trying to like crash into anything. I was just driving recklessly, and it's a really windy road. And I took a corner, and my car literally spun around, and I smashed into a deer crossing pole. And I remember the car spinning around and me thinking like, oh God, this is it. Like, I'm not sure I really want to die. And then at that moment, I kind of like realized, okay, well, maybe I do want to live. And I went home, and that night, my now husband called me because we were friends. We actually started dating when we were really young, broke up, and then just remained friends through the years. And he said, well, why don't you just move up here and you can rent a room from me? And he had lived in LA at the time. So I was like, okay. So after about spending 8 months at my parents' house and being super depressed and wanting to die and then almost dying, I ended up moving to LA. And that was really hard. It was so hard. It's so hard to lose so much of your life, like pictures, belongings, like letters I had that I'd saved since I was a kid. There's a plane going by. All that stuff was just gone, and I felt like I was just like, I'd worked so hard, and I was just like, all I had left was like basically like a quarter of my wardrobe and some crappy furniture that was like hand-me-downs. And when I moved, I had been fired from my job, so I had to find a new job, and that was a nightmare. I really struggled for a while. I'm gonna cut it off now because I'm starting to lose my train of thought, and it's almost been 5 minutes. And I think I kind of like started on this story enough, and I think I should think about it more and then tell you guys the rest tomorrow. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.